Given the information that we know of Shakespeare and the fact that he has something fatal to most of humanity resting inside of him, and how we believe that he had died,
Wait,
that he had died.
you mean a bullet? What do you mean? What?
No. Desta removed the embryo from my body and gave it
What?
to Shakespeare.
Pop in this black box then. Well, let's see what's going on here. How about that?
Added report. Personal message. This is for my daughter. Hi, Amanda. I'm recording this for you, my sweetheart, and I hope you get to hear it one day. You see, I got into trouble. My ship, there was an accident, sweetheart, and we found an alien creature. It was very dangerous, and the only way we could stop it was to destroy the ship. I'm okay. I'm stuck on this lifeboat, long way out, but we had to destroy the ship. We had to destroy the Nostromo. We just couldn't risk bringing that thing home with us. I needed to protect you. Don't worry. Don't worry about me. I'm sure I'll see you very soon. I love you, sweetheart.
Amanda Ripley's journal is opened. There are a series of strange pages. They are written more like data, information, very straightforward, less personal, but they're encoded. Some kind of code that she herself has put over this information so that not anybody can read it. You can see a few sketches of what we now know as facehuggers, the growth of the embryo. You can see that she's tried to make a couple things, but there's a pattern that keeps appearing on her notes, a physical drawing of 5 dots. She mentions it appearing in multiple places through her research is kind of what you get out of it until you can decode. But Barden, you have spent 2 years watching porn and anime and doing nothing else but going over Shakespeare and David's notes. You've seen these 5 dots before, way back in the depths of David's notes. Papers that you and Kitchens have not touched in years because they didn't seem to deliver anything to you. A personal entry by David himself, from what you can tell written after he takes the Covenant. But talking about his first mission, an obsession of his creator, a journey across the stars to find his maker, the origins, the genesis of humans. There's no talk of God or religion, but that Weyland-Yutani found what he was looking for. And what David learned from that is that humans are weak and that their time has passed. And you see it, the same 5 dots, and his notes here or there. You are able to match notes from Amanda Ripley's distant past and David's first journey.
Geppetto, are there any existing constellation maps or star patterns that match this?
Running algorithm. And sure enough, it does ping to a constellation. But a few things pop up with this pattern from ancient history of humans across various races, across various times in history where people shouldn't know one another. You see it on a cave drawing and then a strange tablet. Every time the humanoid figure is pointing towards the sky, to the stars, it does seem to be a constellation.
Okay.
Edo comes back. It seems it is correct. It is matching a star system, roughly a week's journey from here.
A week?
To a system known as LV-223. This is considered an off-limits moon. No one is allowed on site.
Well, the way that I see it, we have 3 objectives that we can accomplish, but we will not be able to do all of them, at least right away. This star map is a week away. We still have no idea where Shakespeare may currently reside if he exists any longer. Additionally, with some assistance, Barden, I would need your expertise and your assistance with creating a type of cancer or a bacteria that might be able to infect our beloved space beasts.
Hold on a second. Hold on, wait a minute. So the gears are starting to turn. There's a clicking, it's a TikTok warehouse up there. Hold on. I know that place. That's Bishop. That's Bishop's shit. That's his shit. I tried to get there. I tried to work on that. That's Bishop. There's a colony. He had a colony. There was a colony right there. He had that. In fact, you know what? Hold on. Wait a minute. Geppetto, overlay, you too slow. Hold on a second. And he clicks a few more things, and he overlays a map of all the locations we have that are like lost. Yeah, that's the one. Hold on. And a few more keystrokes, and he's gonna pull up whatever remaining information exists about Hadley's Hope.
There is a lot of redacted information about Hadley's Hope. What classified information you can read that's not like blackbarred out is that it was a Weyland-Yutani attempt to establish a mining colony on this moon, which is what it is, LV-426 or Acheron. It was co-financed by Weyland-Yutani and the Extrasolar Colonization Administration. And by the last known population was reported in 2179 as 158 colonists. About that time, most of the record goes dark.
You're hooked into the black box. Can you overlay all the final flight manifests on this map?
The last travel destination, it's set down unexpectedly on an uncharted planet known as LV-426. About
Boom.
40 years before it becomes a station for Hadley's Hope.
See that? That's when all the cogs are working. And see, when I was saying that portals were real, that's when everyone laughed me out of the fucking room. But now, there's your nexus point. Kitch.
Where is my whiskey? I need whiskey.
Can I have some too?
Yeah, David, buddy, he's pointing the way over here. You got Bishop fucking around with moons and shit. You got the crazy dead lady on the missing ship, and then you got the two missing colonies right in one, both redacted. Nexus point. Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for episode five. Episode 5 of Alien. Where shit got real last episode. There's a whole lore document. It's coming to the Patreon. Dot dropped a whole lore bomb last week, and also in our private Discord chat. So that will be coming over to Patreon. Speaking of which, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is on our Patreon. Link for that down below. You get all kinds of cool things like that document, and also all of our behind-the-scenes after shows that we do after the show, hence the name. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation, and as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That's our tip bar. If you want to support the channel and these faces you see here before you, every time that bar fills, it serves two purposes. One is every single dollar that goes into that goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. And two, every single time it fills, Dot gets to do terrible, horrible things to us, like unleash an alien. Turns out, Bub and I are headed to LV-426, and if you know what that means, that corruption bar is a big bad time. We're already at 2 of them. So without further ado, Dot, please try to kill the other team in space first, so we can live longer.
Like, as much as I would love to jump in, I have to correct you.
Oh, fuck.
We have 4 corruption bars because of the 2 last week.
Eat a whole dick. Oh. That's how I feel about that.
Welcome to space. All right. 24 hours is going to have passed since all of the information that you have gathered about this strange system, a genesis point in some way of activity around this strange alien species that David seems rather obsessed with. In fact, you're going your separate ways as we see Rin's vehicle leave out of the side of the trash freighter and head off towards Station Alexandria, an off-the-grid colony in space that is currently the central point for their activities of archiving, collecting, and protecting unwanted information of both the past, present, and potentially the future. The rest of our team is headed into deep hypersleep for a week before they arrive at this system, the Zeta Reculi system. So we're going to let them sleep for just a minute, while we follow this very small vessel through space. It's going to take you about 2 days. There's no need, if you don't want to go under, you don't have to. But you travel 2 days back to Station Alexandria. Is there anything you want to do on the way, or is this a very poignant journey?
I think, if anything, Rin is probably drinking a little bit more than she should be. That Vince would notice. She had kind of teetered off over the last several months and, the year and so. And now that shit is getting real again, she's finding herself a little bit more stressed out.
And Vince is doing his best to keep Rin stress-free, whether that is, distracting her by asking dumb backseat questions while she's driving, or, having some of the booze with her so that she has a little less.
Would you both say that such drinking activity might lower your stress?
Absolutely.
Would certainly hope so.
Okay. So 2 days of what is basically a little bit of a drunky bender of space travel. You're going to try to go under the radar. Here is the thing I do need, which is a piloting check.
Of course.
From you. Your stress is all cleared, but I need to make sure you get from point A to point B.
Perfect. Don't want to run into that space buoy.
Yeah, or who knows, a planet.
A planet would be,
Yes,
that'd be
a
bad.
space.
You also are, technically carrying cargo that was destined for somebody else's possession.
That's a good point. I see where you're going with that, Dot, so I'm just gonna hold my breath here for a sec.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
2.
Well, it's a good thing you drink like a fish, because you don't need to hold your breath. You know exactly how to set the autopilot. You've been back into the Station Alexandria quite frequently, and the ship is statted to be a little bit more under the radar. They're not looking for your type of vessel. They're looking for a trash freighter. So with 2 successes, you basically set it on autopilot for 2 days as the both of you enjoy each other's company, drink a little bit, and lower your stress, as it feels maybe a little bit like you're going home again.
Mm-hmm.
If our montage of drinking is done, I guess we'll pan straight in. As we watch your vessel come in, the call sign doesn't come through over radio. It's going to come through digitally. They try to maintain a low profile, and everything seems to be in order, exactly as it should be, as you pull into the station. Did you send word ahead of time? I know you sent word to somebody else, which that did go through for Rin.
I don't know if Rin would have. I think she feels a little sensitive about what they're bringing. So if they did, it probably would have been from Vince as like a kind of covert way of being like, hey, we're on our way back. I figured, but that's up to Vince.
So you have been gone about 3 days. No, you would have had 2 days travel there. So you've been gone about a week.
Yeah.
Give or take. Because you had 2 days on the station and then back. So yeah, about a week. Okay. So you know that when you need to get her, you can. She knows you're returning. So off you go. And as you set foot on the station, I'm actually going to have both of you make a roll for me. This is going to be a wits-based check. I think if you have, I would take observation or survival. This is not a comtech, so either one, observation or survival, will give you information. As you step off of your vessel, docks normally, things seem to be in order. The dock hands are doing their job, but as you actually cross into the station proper, as these kind of janky doors open up, you can hear the sound of people inside. I'm going to get either one of those checks from you, both of you.
All right. I will do observation.
Okay.
2 successes.
Okay.
It's not
Ren,
observant.
it's not that you're not observant. Things seem normal, but Vincent, you observe a little something extra. You can see that people, not on the job, not the dock workers, not the security, right? The station security at the entrance. The people in line, buying food, shopping, holding hands with their children, they seem, visibly speaking, they seem a little on edge. Women have their hoods up and over their heads and their neck. They hug their children a little bit closer. You yourself have never grown up necessarily, and oh no, you did in a large colony for at least a little while, but nothing that's so traversed as this, so diverse as this. And people seem scared. Their eyes dart a little bit more, as if something could go wrong any moment. But to the average eye, it looks like a normal day.
Am I able to tell at all what they might be fearing? Like, do I see them looking at station guards, or are they looking at each other, or?
Since you got an extra success, I'll tell you that they are avoiding station guards. They're making that big kind of space as if I stay farther away from them, but not because they are afraid of being shot or attacked, but because they don't want to be questioned. Hoods up, heads down, kids close. People are trying to go unnoticed.
I look at Rin and I point this out and I say, everyone is so kind of closed off from each other.
Maybe it's because of that whole, food riding nonsense that happened last time we were here. Could be. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a mind reader, though.
And it's weird to think something would change so quickly like that, but.
Well, I mean, people are starving and I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think maybe the council or the the conclave, I forget what it's called. Maybe they're the committee. Yeah.
Another C word. I could think of another one if you wanted to call them something else, but I don't think that's a real appropriate.
Maybe the committee is looking. Here's what I hope. I hope that maybe the committee has gotten a little antsy waiting for the information that we have for them anyway. And maybe it's, found its way to the citizens and they're now in kind of the sights of the committee. So hopefully this will be solved, with the black box. But also, I don't know if we should share
about that.
I don't know if we should share that with them. So maybe.
No. I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, unless Ace talked to you about it. Otherwise, I don't think she intended to share this kind of sensitive data. I mean, let's go find her and see what's going on. Maybe she has a better idea.
Yeah, it's probably going to have to be something that we deal with. Yeah, I just want to see what she says.
We're not the peacekeepers. They'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
You head towards what you know to be her private quarters. It is the same scene after scene. No matter where you go, people are still going about their daily lives, but with a sincere step of caution. behind it. And as you round the corner into this more residential area to her private quarters, out front stands a woman you've never met before. If it weren't for the fact you were on Station Alexandria, you'd swear this woman was a Wayland Yutani rep. Suit, well put together, especially in comparison to everybody else. But if you look close enough, you can see the elbows and the knees are worn. She too has left an old life and is starting anew, as most of these people are. But she has kept a sense of who she was amongst that. And you can see she stands out front with a data pad in front of her private chambers.
Wait, you know her? Have you seen her before?
Don't think so.
All right. Why don't you go first? I'll hang back.
Yeah, you hang on to the box, then don't. Yeah, just scream if something happens. And I walk up to this person. You said this person is basically loitering outside of Ace's room.
She is loitering is a term that is qualifiable, but she's supposed to be here.
Loitering nonetheless.
Yes, but loitering nonetheless. But you can tell that at least she believes she's supposed to be here.
Sure.
She doesn't even look up. You can hear her fingernail tapping the screen of the data pad.
Okay, I walk up and I say, "Hey, I am supposed to meet with the leader."
She takes a deep breath before she pulls the data pad up and begins to tap, 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 and scrolls.
My name is Vince.
She says nothing. Vince, baby. Thank you so much for stopping by to see the leader, but she's very busy right now, and I don't see your name on her list.
Sorry, and what was your name?
Oh, they call me Annabelle.
Hi, Annabelle. And I go to shake her hand.
Oh, no touch. Germs and all that.
Yeah, lots of germs in space. Well, do you know when she will be a little less busy? Is this like a, committee meeting kind
I'm
of
her
thing?
assistant, but
Oh, that's
I unfortunately
great.
can't share such sensitive information with the likes of you. So if
Yeah,
you'll
of
do me a
course.
favor and leave a message, I'll be happy to pass it along.
Yeah. Well, do you like get her meals and stuff too as her assistant?
I do anything that the leader needs, or that the
Oh.
council asks, or that the committee asks of me.
And how long have you been her assistant?
Oh, I'd say about 4 days.
Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. Cool. Well, is the committee meeting right now?
Is
by
there
any
anything
chance?
else I can do for you, Vance?
Vince, and yes, is the committee meeting right now?
The committee meets publicly. Their schedule is posted. I am not your assistant.
Oh, okay. You did just ask if there was anything else you could do for me, but that's fine.
I meant in relation to the leader, but I can tell that you're a little grumpy from space travel. If you'd like, I suggest you go down to the mess hall. There are free meals for everyone on board.
Yeah, of course. Well, hey, it was great to meet you, Mirabelle. And I hope you have a good one.
Oh.
And I walk away.
She watches you with dead eyes.
I turn around.
She smiles.
All right.
Okay,
and
I didn't hear most of that,
you
but
just body language can tell the whole story. So
do you want me to knock her out? Because I can do that.
I would honestly love it, but I don't know if that's the best option right now.
Okay, what if I kidnap her and then we torture the information out of her?
Again, part of me would love it, but the repercussions, like that would be
Okay.
kind of an instant gratification thing. And I'm
What if
trying.
we put on spacesuits thus she cannot see who we are, and then
I don't think she would let almost anyone in there, and I don't trust her. So
agree.
I do like the idea though of trying to find a way in there without her knowing. And I look at Ace's place and I do wonder, this is a bit of me coming up with something, but would we have like a secret way to get into Ace's place? I mean, with our relationship established, it's not like we would sneak around or do that kind of stuff too often, but more in the case of like she's the leader and super busy. So sometimes I wouldn't be able to go right in.
So here's the thing. The question is, how bad do you want to get in? Because the answer is yes. But because space is so, I don't know, corrupted, I can say that the leader rarely needs more entrances for people to come in and more quick exits for her out. You know that she has a drop pod, which means there's a tunnel, a drop pod tube that empties out into an area. So you could potentially climb up the drop pod tube into her suite. But there is no secret door, if that's what you're asking.
Sure. Okay. And that would involve a little bit of a spacewalk, right?
It might. It's definitely going to require you to climb the tube in one way or the other. But yes, it empties out into space. So until you get in, you're going to have to spacesuit walk in.
I'm good. I as in, yes, I'm going to do it. Like the beginning of this entire story was this little kid crawling around in crawl spaces and vents and stuff like that. I did a spacewalk in the second season, and now it's time to combine both of those things into one.
Oh, okay.
So I say to Rin,
you know that there is a way.
Yeah, she has like an escape pod thing. The committee paid for it. It was pretty cool. They were like, hey, you know, the big leader should have a method of escape. Anyway, I think I'm going to use that to get into her place. And then hopefully she's either in there or there's like a hint as to what the hell is going on.
Okay. While you work that angle.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and get some children. Not for nefarious purposes, mind you. Okay. Just putting that out there.
You out. Yeah.
Okay. And they're going to cause a ruckus, in which case I will take said data pad to find out where the hell, you know, who is where.
Okay. Sure.
Maybe that will work out. If that does not work out, I may resort to violence.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
I guess.
Maybe.
Put the box back on the ship then?
Yes, that is the plan. I will secure the
or should
cargo.
I take it? Because I feel pretty confident. I mean, the worst that'll happen is I get ejected into space somehow, but that
I feel like that's probably too much of a risk given the level of importance this information is. So that's fine. You go do that. Be careful. You know, make sure you check all the seals.
Yes, I know.
Okay. Watch out for, you know, what's it's out in space.
Slugs. I
was thinking more like the beast variety, but yes.
Oh yeah.
You know,
here I hope not.
So here's their best bet, because your best bet is going to be to go out in the plane or in your ship and hover and come out of your ship and walk through and up and into it, if that is what you wanted to do.
Cool.
Okay.
So Rin, could you just drop me off real quick?
Of course. No problem.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Oh, mission time.
Off you both go. This woman, like high school level, like mean girl, watches you as you exit down the hallway. Back to your ship. You're able to leave no problem. Zoom around to the side. Now you have to understand, this space station is a conglomeration of found bits and bobs, pieces, things from space, old space stations, other bits of ship that have been put together to make a habitable space for people. And you're going to kind of skirt the outside. Now, Vince, you only know where this is because she told you, in case there was ever an emergency, where it would, like what side of the vessel it's going to shoot her out of.
Sure.
Because she's just going to be in a drop pod. And you see it. What is a almost hidden oculus. Small, this far out. Well, neither of you are scientists, are you? Okay. What is your plan?
My plan is to suit up and then for Rin to pull right under the tube, open the hatch or the hangar door, whatever it is. And then I will secure a rope to our ship and then jump to the, hopefully a brief jump to the tube, start climbing up, find a way to open it, disconnect the rope.
Great. Okay.
go up.
So we got to start with the first thing,
Okay.
which is you have to spacewalk, which is not easy. So you suit up. Rin, I'm just gonna get a pilot check to see how close you can get. If you get extras, we'll kind of count it towards his favor.
1. At least it's
Okay.
a 1.
Okay, great. So you get as close as he needs, as close as you can safely get, because he still needs some space to float, if you would, and try to maneuver into this hole. Okay, Vince. So space actually works like this. When the
Uh-oh.
door opens,
Uh-huh.
there is a vacuum, and it pulls everything out until it meets the emptiness, the void of space. When that happens, you maintain your speed of velocity based on the vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it is going to shot put you from the back ass end of this ship towards this Oculus hole and the edge of
Yes.
this vessel. Okay.
Yes.
I am going to need a few rolls from you.
Heck yeah.
The first one is a mobility check.
Heck yeah.
You are wearing a very large spacesuit. It is going to be made at a -1.
Okay. Sounds good. Let me see here. Da-da-da. All right. Let's do mobility, -1.
Okay.
It's still 1 success.
Still 1 success. You hear the sound of the door of the ship opening. As it does, the vacuum sucks you and everything not tied down out. With a 1 success, there's nothing special. The best thing that you can do is put your hands to your side and try to act a little bit like a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do, the vacuum sucks you out and you right yourself using little hand things.
Gravity.
Basically in anti-gravity. And you are speeding towards the side of Station Alexandria, headed for this small Oculus. Now,
Mhm.
you don't have a way to open that. Corruption bar number 3. You don't have a way to open that. What is your plan? Are you going to just hit the side of the station like a bug on a windshield? Do you have a plan?
That's right. I don't this is where something like a like engineering heavy machinery torch would be useful,
Would
but
be
I
helpful.
don't
What do
have
you have? What
I
do you
have a Samani E-series watch. I have a
Okay.
tape recorder. I have a
Okay.
high beam flashlight. Let's go. Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'll see if there's any way to like Comtech hotwire the door open from the
Okay.
outside.
So I need I'm gonna take one more mobility check to safely stop yourself
Okay,
against the hull of the ship of Station Alexandria,
got it.
and then we'll see if you can get it open.
Do I still have a -1?
No, because the suit may actually protect you from becoming a bug on a windshield. Let's see.
Okay, here we go. I will push.
hmm
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Panic
And,
sets in. 1, 2, 3, and a panic.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Panic
I'll make a panic
sets
roll.
in. You didn't make a plan for stopping.
Yeah.
And as you speed through empty space, and it's absolutely silent because there is no sound in space, like a bullet trajectory headed for the tiniest little hole in the side of this thing, you realize that maybe you shouldn't go head first.
Yeah.
You have the idea to spin yourself around, and you maneuver really, really, really well with these
Mhm.
hand jets, I guess you could say, on either side to get turned around so that maybe you can stop yourself with your feet to help take in some of the impact. But you are coming in really fast, and you
Mhm.
still roll for panic. So
Okay.
roll the panic check.
So I have a talent. Vince has a talent called
Okay.
Nerves of Steel. I keep
Okay.
a cool head in all situations and get a -2 modification to all panic rolls, which I'm going to press the button. Okay, it did not give me an option to subtract, so that's actually a 4.
That's a 4. Okay, so
Mhm.
you keep it together.
Okay.
You breathe. You can hear yourself inside of your helmet as you breathe, coming in very, very quickly. You're trying to use the jets to slow yourself backwards. And sure enough, you come to a pretty, what most people would consider hard landing as your knees kind of bend with the weight of gravity and you try to stabilize yourself. You hit the button on your hand, which turns on the magnetic boots on your suit, which is standard in all spacesuits. And you can go to the side of this thing. You look back and you can see Ren's vessel is there. The Oculus is right next to you. You can attempt a comtech check. What do you have to connect with?
I mean, I have an item called a data transmitter card, and a Siegson SDD. I forget what the SDD stands for.
Okay.
Stands
Okay.
for Soap and the Oculus.
Super helpful. Yeah, okay. So I will give you a chance. Basically, what you're gonna have to do is from a remote transmitter, you're going to have to try to tap into her passcode inside
Okay.
of her room.
Cool.
Because it's still connected to this door, right? So it's you should be able to reach it from here. So roll the comtech check.
Okay. And actually, here I can pull up the book too, because the Siegson SDD is actually an item that gives a character +2 to their comtech roll.
Oh, well then you can use
which
that.
would be
+2.
super
do
helpful.
that.
Okay,
Do
cool.
that.
I'll do that.
That seems like maybe you did plan ahead.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, cool. All right.
Maybe you did plan ahead before you launched yourself into space.
Yeah. I go out and I'm like, shit, what do I have? Oh, cool. Just have the item that's perfectly gonna work. And wait. Oh, wait, what?
That's correct.
That was very strange. I should have 5 dice plus an additional 2. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that looks like you only rolled your panic or
That's
like,
very
that's
strange.
very strange. Yeah, try that one more time. If not, you may have to manually roll your 6s.
What if I do that?
Okay.
There we go. Okay, that's really weird. There should be 2 more die there, but 1 is fine.
Success. It takes you a minute. The coder, the transmitter kind of has to beep in, and you realize it gains control of the keypad upstairs. You know her 4-digit code, and you put it in, and sure enough, the Oculus opens up.
Okay, I hope it's it leads to a pressurizing chamber and not her room. So.
Well, you know that you just entered the code. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Oculus opens up.
Okay.
Nothing else happens. It looks like, kind of a circular 4 by kind of 4-foot circular metal tunnel that's going to go all the way up and into the base of the chamber that holds the drop pod from her bed.
On the comms, I say to Rin, hey, I know that looked a little rough, but I somehow the plan was going to work from the beginning, and I just got it to work. So,
well, if saving the galaxy don't work out for you in the future, you have like space acrobatics as a backup.
Yeah, I'm good. So you can let me just get in, and then you can probably go back and get kids or whatever you were going to do.
When you say it that way, it doesn't sound as good as my plan did.
I mean, it was your plan.
Okay.
And I scoot up, kind of push off, and go through the Oculus.
I need 2 checks, a mobility check and a stamina check. You have to climb this tube.
Got it. Tube climbing time.
It's gonna take you a while.
Okay, here we go. Mobility. Oh, come on.
Roll a panic.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And then I can. Oh, you can't push a panic.
You can't push a panic. All you can do is roll off the panic table.
All right.
Minus... Go ahead and take the stress. Don't forget to take the.
Wait.
No, you're right. No stress there. Okay. I'm so sorry. Yeah,
you're good.
Just roll from the panic.
So -2 to whatever this is. So 5. Is that still okay?
-2. Yep, you're good.
Okay. But no successes.
it is not as easy as you think as you try to come around and slide. And basically, you're going to all have to all for it. Now, your feet are magnetized, but your hands are not as you're going to climb up and you slip.
Okay. Then what
And
happens?
you kind of begin to float backwards into space away from the edge of Station Alexandria.
My idea of tying myself to the ship that Rin is piloting is that I hope that's canon now, because if not,
Yeah, I mean, we can say you're tied off. That means Rin just has to stay there till you return.
yeah. Or okay, so currently I'm drifting back out of the hole.
You're kind of and you can kind of scooch back in.
Okay. So I need to
try another mobility check, but this time you're gonna take a -1.
Okay, got it.
Because it's getting harder and harder.
Mm-hmm.
You're running out of jet juices.
Jet juices. Yep. Okay, here we go. There we go.
There you go. You know what? Maybe climbing isn't your best skill, but you're really good at this jet propulsion type thing, and you kind of maneuver yourself and scoot yourself up in there using your jet propulsion.
Played a lot of video games.
It's only gonna last so long, but with the additional 2 successes on this, I'm going to shorten your trip. You still need to make a stamina check.
Okay.
But you can take a +2 because you decide, why the hell did you think of this before? And you and jet propulsion yourself all the way up as high into the tube as you can get before they run out.
Perfect. Okay, here's stamina at a +2.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Boots, hands, you're young, you've climbed through tunnels and tubes of spaceships before, and you're on a mission. Something is wrong, and you know it with Ace. As you get to the top, Rin, do you wait? Nope.
Oh no, she's bored.
Once he's clearly inside.
Yeah.
I imagine the airline cable that's attached to the back of his suit that goes all the way to your ship gets released. The back door gets kind of brought up and in. And you can go back into the station. While you're waiting, you are pinged. Your message has been received. And a message is sent back with simply a time and location, which you know to be the same noodle stand that you and Vince visit on the regular inside of Station Alexandria. It's going to be a couple days, but your message was received. You get to the bottom of a very similar door as the one that you opened before. This one, though, is totally closed. And you know on the other side of this is going to be the drop pod.
Okay.
But you have made it very successfully with your stamina check.
Okay. I will attempt to open this next door.
Okay. Okay. Do you close the door behind the one behind you, or do you leave it open?
Yes, I closed the door behind me.
Okay. Just making sure. You close it off. Roll me another Comtech check to see if you can open this top one. This is going to be tricky because this drop pod's going to drop on you.
Yeah.
Because you're in the tunnel,
Of
right?
course,
It's literally, that is what it does. It is a drop pod.
And I would hopefully, especially like closing the door behind, if I do particularly well.
Close the door behind, you're not opening into space anymore, which means the vacuum piece doesn't work the same. That's why I asked that.
Yes.
Because I needed to know how fast this thing was going to be coming at your face.
Yes. So I hope if I do particularly well on this, I can find a way to not have it recognize that the door has been opened and it still be secured and not drop down.
Oh, okay. So yeah, how about this? If you get more than a single success, we can use it to say that you kind of rig the arms that hold it into place to not release.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Love it.
I'll take it.
Roll a panic check.
Yep. -2 to this.
But okay.
I'm
yeah,
invincible.
There's that moment of like, oh, I hope I do this or I'm going to get a drop pod to the face. And you hit the button. It opens and you see that the kind of pill-shaped, right,
Mhm.
drop pod, the bottom of it does not come barreling towards your skull. No, in fact, it stays exactly where you wanted it to. And there's a very small area you can kind of jimmy up. And you
Yep.
know it's hidden, right, behind another faux wall to the actual room of her bedroom.
Okay.
Do you do anything, or you just go up there and like open it up?
I close the door behind me again.
Okay, great. So yep, no vacuum. Shoink,
Okay.
closes behind you.
Then, yeah, I kind of shimmy past the drop pod and try to open this hatch or whatever the next
Yep.
obstacle is.
You kind of it slides almost
Okay.
like open in a round way, and you can see the faux wall. It's like one of those press ones. The
Mhm.
press is from the other side, so you would give it a little press, and it would kind of creak open.
I do.
As it creaks open, you can see that the space is relatively dark, except for basic safety lights around the bottom, kind of the usual. And I'm going to roll.
I am trying to be quiet for what it's worth.
Great, roll a mobility.
Okay.
As you go to creep out, right in front of your face comes a bludgeoning object through the darkness. Kind of pans across, and you are missed because you rolled 3 mobility. You kind of dodge backwards, and as you look to the side, you see at the other end is Ace, rather surprised that it's you, as the heavy object kind of clatters to the floor.
Hey, hi, hey, it's me. Hi. Oh, sorry. What are you doing here? I make my way into the rest of the room.
You're not supposed to be here.
I know.
Then
What?
why are you here?
What is going on? Who's that random lady outside?
That's my new assistant.
You like her a lot, I'm sure.
It wasn't really an option.
What's been happening? Was that a committee thing?
There was an attempt on my life after you left.
Oh.
The committee felt like maybe I should be put under watch. So they got me an assistant, and now I'm not allowed to go anywhere. In fact, they kept me here for the last 3 days. They won't even let me out.
I know exactly. I saw this exact plot in an anime.
What?
I go sit on the bed. I can tell you exactly what happened. Okay? I still remember it. Kitchens was sitting next to it, and Kitchens like predicted the outcome of this, and then he was right. It was epic. And I pull off the space helmet, and I say, I can tell you.
Did you crawl all the way up
Yeah.
the drop pod tube?
Yeah, it was actually kind of easy. I'm good at spacewalking, I guess.
Roll a manipulation check.
Don't you mean persuasion? No, that's not all right, here we go.
Okay, she only got 1.
Okay, cool. I got 1 as well.
She has that moment where, like, as a teenage girl, she doubts you, but then she kind of thinks it's also super cool that maybe you climbed all the way up the drop pod tube just to come check on her. And she says, yeah, I mean, it's cool, whatever.
So I know exactly what's going on. And okay, yeah, but I'm almost positive the committee was probably behind that attempt on your life. They were probably behind it. And then now they're locking you in your own room so that they can make all the decisions without you.
Precisely, but what am I supposed to do?
Well, you're going to use the information that we have from the black box that we just got back.
You brought it here?
No, I don't have it. Well, it's with Rin, and she's out.
It?
We got it. I don't have it physically with me right now, though. It's outside.
We can't
with Rin.
let them have that information.
I know. So we need to get you out of here, right? Because they're not even letting you come to meetings or anything.
No, it's not safe, they said.
Not safe. Well, the I was going to say villagers, still lots of anime. The people in the colony, they seem really on edge. Do you think that's why? Because of what happened with you? Was it kind of public?
Yeah. They've been questioning everybody, trying to find out who the culprit was or who he was working with.
Are you all on the edge of some sort of decision right now or something?
Not entirely, but kind of, sort of. Decision seems like a quaint take on it, but yeah. I guess.
Okay.
Some of the committee thinks it would be smart of us to make some allies.
With who?
Well, that. I'm sorry. Mike and Zach's curious face tonight was too much. It was too much.
Make allies was in the world of Alien. Make allies was the most sus thing you've said
who?
in 3
among
seasons.
The 3 options.
Yeah.
The evil corporation 1, evil corporation 2, or the alien.
The 3 different heads of the literal devil. I don't know what the
Yes.
fuck.
We
Well,
are it.
They haven't really made a decision yet. Different committee members have different preferences.
Yeah. Okay. We need to get you in front of this black box stuff. We already.
In front of it, we shouldn't even let them know. They knew I
No,
was
I'm not.
doing
I agree. I'm not saying they should see it. I'm saying you should.
What was on the black box?
I'll be honest with you. I feel like more than half of it went over my head. Kitchens would probably be better at explaining it than I am,
Kitchens
but
is here?
no.
Where's Kitchens?
Mm,
Camera cut.
Yeah.
Sleeping. Cryo
Okay.
sleep. Peacefully sleeping. Sound cuts back.
They, as far as I understand, we discovered that. Okay. And I sort of briefly go over as quickly as I can Vince's knowledge of what happened at Anchor Point Station, like finding Kitchens, what happened with Desta and his fate, the whole Bishop thing, and like Vince's limited knowledge of Bishop, the whole United Americas tie-in, and how it seems like Bishop is trying to beat out Wayland Yutani to everything. And then also,
and she goes, "Oh, for
yeah.
what? What are they? What do they want so badly?"
I think it's all centered around this space piece thing. I think we think that Bishop or the United Americas, both of the corporations want to use it for different reasons.
So I might know something, but it's not like that important.
That's
And
how
I
we know
haven't
it's really important.
Really
What is
told
it?
anybody? Well, it's kind of. How about this? You get me out of here,
Mhm.
and I'll tell you.
Do you have a spacesuit in here?
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah. And she kind of fuddles around and pulls out a really worn spacesuit. It's not quite as bulky as yours. It's like ship branded kind of a thing. It's a little bit more ragtag.
Okay.
And she says, "I have an idea. This drop pod holds 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
We get drop podded out into space, and then Ren comes and gets us."
I think that would be a good idea, but I do wonder if the station or the committee has a way of realizing that your drop pod has been engaged. And so I was thinking we calm Ren and we go out the way that I came in, like without using it. It's a little bit of spacewalking.
Spacewalk?
Well, yeah, we'll tether to each other. That way, if one of us gets ejected into space, then both of us do. It'll be fun.
Oh, I'm sold.
Great.
She goes, okay. Yeah, I trust you.
I trust you too.
Famous last words.
Here's the other thing too, is I think it for once, actually, that sort of strange, weird, get up that you had when you had to be out in public, no one really but the committee knows what you look like, right?
Right?
So you could probably just like, obviously you're not going to wear your leader stuff because then they're going to be like, wait, why is the leader out? But you could probably just, come out as yourself. But then we just need to make sure that none of the committee members see you.
So what? Just pass my identity off to someone? Wait a second.
That's not what I was saying, but that's a cool idea. Yeah.
Wait, she goes, wait, I can't just leave. Because she kind of like stops realizing like what the impact of that. She goes, I can't just leave these people. The mission?
We don't have to. We honestly, we just need to get this black box to you so that your, amazing epic mind can parse out all that information too. And I know you had ideas of what to do with it.
Well, then maybe we just, check the drop pod for, I don't know, tracking beacon or something, and then we could just take
What?
the drop pod.
You're doing that thing that you do. Why are you doing that?
Nothing. I didn't. Did you listen to the tape?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Did you think it was cool?
Yeah. The whole rest of the ship thought it was cool too. Yeah, I didn't know that on that old like trash freighter that Kitchens and Barden own, that it will automatically play any music to the entire ship. So yeah, that was fun. But I did really enjoy it. Oh, that was my bad. Not you shouldn't feel guilty about that at all. Like it was great, and you were awesome too. And like your little, I'll just stop talking. But anyway, yeah, it was nice. I have one for you. I have a couple actually, mostly
Really?
just one.
You made a mix
Mhm.
it? That's cool.
I bought it from
So-
the junker guy that we swindled.
she looks up at you, and as she does, and the both of you make eye contact, kind of in this cute moment, you hear the bing of the wall HUD that is the security screen for just outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes,
Figures.
"Oh shit, hide."
Can I go right back into the sort of false wall
Yeah, you wanna go
into the
into the
drop
pod?
pod area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so basically you slide into the drop pod. Do you get in the drop pod or just next to it?
I get inside it. Well, ooh. No, I stay outside of it. I stay
Okay,
outside of
you
it.
stay just outside of it. You kind of breathe in tight and tuck
Mhm.
the helmet away as you kind of close the door behind you, and you
Yeah.
see her kind of press it back
I
into
put
place.
my
as
helmet back on.
she goes over and she boops the comms on, or the thing on, and you hear Annabelle.
Leader, I thought I heard somebody's voice in there. I'm just checking on you to make sure everything's A-okay.
Oh yeah, it's fine. We're fine. Everything's just fine. I'm gonna have you roll a mobility check to hide, and she's gonna roll a manipulation check to lie.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, she got one.
She got one.
I got two.
Okay. You're successfully hidden.
Mhm.
Ow,
Mm-hmm.
okay. With 8 and only one success, you hear her eyes you kind of hear her go.
I hear her eyes.
You see her eyes kind of squint through the HUD screen. You don't, but you can hear her.
Sure.
All right, well, I was just checking in. You have an appointment in T-minus 25 minutes. I'll be escorting you over myself. Security will be waiting for us. Just make sure that you put on something presentable.
You hear the boop of
Appointment for what? Appointment for what?
I don't know.
Ask
I
her.
don't know.
Ask her.
No, I don't want to.
You should.
What is the appointment for, Annabelle?
I'm so glad you asked. This appointment is a private meeting with the committee. We'll be discussing the long-term needs of your security on board Station Alexandria and exactly who will be taking over during day-to-day activities when it is far too dangerous for you to be about. Any more questions?
No.
Oh no, no, that's it. That's all I got. Okay, I'll see you 23 3.5 minutes. And it kind of boops off.
Okay, so they're totally replacing you.
So we have 23 minutes. No, they're probably going to kill me.
Okay, I'll trust you on that. All right, well, ooh, okay, I have an idea. Let's combine our ideas.
Does it include
How
the drop
about
pod?
yes, but not, we're not going to get inside it. I don't think. Look, and you, if you want to go with a different plan, we can. But what if you and I, it would be dumb to like, they wouldn't think we would not take the drop pod, right? So why don't we engage the drop pod, but not be in it? And Rin comes and picks us up, and then we make it super obvious that the drop pod went out, and then they go chasing after that, right?
Oh, yeah, like a diversion.
Yeah. And then maybe we could even like maybe like crack it open or something so that it looks like you
What,
not
what
only
happens when she comes in and sees the both of us standing here and the drop pod's gone?
we would be also gone. We're going with it, but not in it. And then Rin will pick us up, and then the drop pod will be
So-
out in space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of
Or-
don't like this plan,
Okay, what do you want to do?
but it's a good plan. Okay. She says, we're going to need to tie ourselves, to each other. And then
Mhm.
more than likely, it would be smart to tie us to the drop pod as well. So it pulls us out into space and then we can cut the line when we get there.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
do-
It's going to be really a tight space. We
Mhm. We should what?
nothing. I'm just gonna, and she begins like airline cabling things, putting on the suit, helmet, everything together. And she goes, okay, all I have to do is hit that button right there, and then it's gonna eject us into space.
Okay. Can I like use my data transmitter or like a communicator to call Rin, or
You're a bit far out, but you could try to comtech her and send a message.
okay, I'll try to. Do I have to roll for contact?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You need just a success, but it is a bit.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, you're good. Yeah, you can patch into her ship.
Hey,
She's not on the ship.
what? Oh. Yeah, cut to like the interior of the ship, which
Yeah,
is empty.
and we hear Vin.
Rin?
And there's no Rin. No, in fact, Rin has made it back into the station. Rin, do you do anything particular? Or your plan is to just wait it out for a few days until he arrives.
Oh no, she's still doing the children distracting Annabelle nonsense as a long shot to get the data
Okay.
pad. So
How and where do you find gullible children?
that's a
Good
great
question of the night.
question. Based on their visits to the station, there's probably a place where a lot of the kids like to particularly play, like away from the adults nagging on
Okay.
them.
Yeah, there's a
about the-
lost classical athletic form known as skateboarding and rollerblading.
Sweet.
That is not really practiced anymore, but here they have built them something called a half pipe, which doesn't make sense because it's not really half of a pipe. But they hang out here and you don't totally understand exactly what it is. Something about wheels and boards and kick flips and stuff.
Yeah, she just finds like the most troublemaking looking children.
I need a manipulation check. Okay, you found them. These are the troublemakers. I need a manipulation check from
It's
you.
gonna be terrible. I have nothing in manipulation. Absolutely
Okay.
not.
You come across three boys. They think they're pretty cool. One of them kind of spits to the side before he drops down into the bowl and comes back up to the other side, and his friend goes, "Yeah, Tommy, that's what's up, man."
Man, I'm way in over my head, she says to herself, because she has no idea how to deal with children of any age other than Vincent. So
This kid goes, "Lady, are you gonna keep staring at us or what? It's kind of weird."
Yeah, actually, I have a job for you.
We don't work, man. We're free spirits on board Station Alexandria.
Right, but this job is specifically regarding causing trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Oh, just a little. Listen, some girl was mean to me, and I would like for you to get back at her. That's all. Just a little
Yo,
trouble.
you want us to beat up a girl?
No, not beat her up, just scare her a little.
You want us to scare a little girl? You a grown
She's not little.
woman.
She's not little. I can promise you that. Also, she talked very poorly about what it is that you're doing here. She's one of those people that, like puts their nose up and thinks that she's better than everybody else.
Everybody thinks they're better than us. We live on a junk station.
Well, they're wrong.
Are you going to push that manipulation check, or are you just going to leave it at a failure?
I'm not pushing it because she's not really manipulating them. She thinks that person is crap. If anything, command probably.
He goes, all right, lady. We don't play with just anybody. So
okay.
You take this skateboard.
Okay.
You do a full there and back again without busting ass. And we'll help you.
Okay. Sure, that's fine. I can do that. I just need to. Could you just give me a demonstration, just so I know what?
Yeah, of course. And he kind of whistles out the side of his mouth, and he goes, "Hey, Bobby, drop into the bowl." And the kid kind of teeters on the edge, and you watch as he puts 2 feet on this board, and he dips down, and it slides into really, this is a metal bowl. It's not concrete because it's made of junk. And he kind of swoops around the bowl and gains speed. And as he hits the edge, he balances on one end of the board, jumps, it spins, and he catches it again as he lands back and comes to a stop. And he goes, "Yeah, do that, and we'll work with you."
Okay, no problem. Just gonna put these over here. Don't take these. These are very important to me. Okay, let's do this.
Said that.
All right, mobility, I'm guessing.
Yeah, this is gonna be a mobility check.
Skateboard.
You only need a single success to not fall, but if you want to go above and beyond, we'll use your extra successes for it.
Okay, great. Pray for me. Two successes.
We watch as Ren dips down into the bowl, and there's that quaking moment as you're trying to find the balance between the bend in your knees and the balance of where your ass belongs, right? To stay on the board. And you do as you and you gain speed, and as you come up, it's not the coolest trick, but you do pop the end of the wheels a little bit off the edge as you come down, and one boy goes, "Oh! As you come back, you can see one of them has, in fact, picked up your sunglasses and was wearing them. And seeing you successfully do this thing, he kind of takes his sunglasses off and hands them back to you in a very apologetic way.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, that was so bad. That was fun. I can see why you do this. Skills.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We think we're cool. Who's this person? What are we doing?
You know Annabelle chick?
Oh. And they get really, really hyped as they're all like, "Oh, not Annabelle!" And all of the eyes kind of turn down the line to the first boy you talked to, the one who gave you so much sass. And Tommy says, "I might know her."
Yeah. I kind of want to teach her a lesson.
They go, "Cool." And you can see there's a huddle that happens as you begin to tell them the plan. How do you want? Is there a plan to distract her? Or are you leaving that up to the boys?
Yeah, I think she wants to use as much chaos to her advantage as possible. Since they have the skateboards, she can probably kind of help them come up with a general idea on how to make the most amount of ruckus and chaos in the way of everything.
Oh, I got you. And he says that. He said, "We'll meet you down there." And kind of splits. And as he does, sure enough, they all meet back up around a corner, skateboards in hand, and you can see they have canisters, and they're beginning to shake them. You can hear the rattling of the cans as
one of the boys gets up and he says, "It's now or never." And they kind of bump fists as they begin skating down the hallway. And as they do, they open that aerosol can of paint down the hall and just down clean. Well, I guess it's not clean. Down the steel walls of Station Alexandria. And they begin spray painting. And they are headed very quickly straight for Annabelle, who still stands outside on her data pad. I'm going to give her a chance to see if she notices them or even cares. She doesn't. And as they pass by her, they spray her across the data pad and her suit. She lets out a bit of a scream, a yelp, if you would, as she says some profanities behind them and some unkind things about their status in life. And she begins typing into the data pad, calling security, saying that there has been a disturbance outside of the leader's orders. She turns very quickly. The camera that's on the door thing has been spray painted over, so you can't see it entirely. But she kind of looks at the thing, and you can hear panic. Vince, on the inside of the room, you hear panic outside of, as everything kind of finishes getting attached. And you hear her say, "I'm coming in," over the data pad. There's been a disturbance in the hallway.
Oh, Rin. Oh God.
She goes, "Now or never."
Yeah.
Actually, you can get Rin now. You're close enough because she's actually back on board. So, do you say anything to Rin?
I mean, yeah. I'm like, Rin, great, but maybe not. We're gonna be in a drop pod outside. Please pick us up. Thanks. Bye.
And this comes over as you hear the boys like, "Ow, yow!" as they're all up and down the hallway. And she's like, "Stop this nonsense!" And she's like trying to kind of rally the troops. Fearlessly, Ace smashes the button. The drop pod closes. It says, "Warning, warning, warning," and it drops out. And as it does, the drop pod releases, dragging the both of you behind it. She goes, "You're gonna have to hang on tight," as she kind of scoops around you, so that the both of you are kind of in an embrace as it launches all of you through this tube. Now, you are free falling. I will give you a mobility check. Your suit has no more like air, so you're not gonna be able to use that. No more jet juice.
Yeah. Okay. Mobility. 3 successes.
3 successes. You hold her tight and and kind of go with the air so that you're not banging against the sides of this tube, and it works perfectly. The 2 of you and this drop pod out into space, and you come to kind of a floating halt. You do in fact see a beacon on her drop pod begin to light up. Boing. Boing. It's on the top. She kind of leans over and cuts free the cords that were attaching you to it. And looks at you like, "Now what?" Because both of you are freely floating in space.
Yeah, as she cuts the cord, I kick. The last thing I do is I kick my feet off of the pod to kick us in a direction away from it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you kind of kick off and try to launch you guys a little bit closer back towards the vessel. It actually pushes the drop pod even further into the emptiness of space.
Yeah. And then we rotate around and around the stars surrounding us as we hold each other.
As you hold each other in space until Rin shows up to pick you up. Rin, it has caused a great disturbance. The boys lead security all over the place. This isn't Wayland Yutani security or Colonial Marines. They're not going to shoot on the spot. These are people that live here that have taken up security duty, and so they try to wrangle this situation as best as possible. But this entire hallway has been graffitied with foul language and crude images.
Was Rin able to successfully recover this data pad?
That's a great question. Let's see if she drops it. She does.
Sweet.
In the chaos, she drops it and you scoop it up. She comes back to recover it, but to no success. You get the message, of course, and go pick up your crewmate and Ace. So far, to nobody else's knowledge.
Well, okay, that was a miss. And she kind of brings the data pad up and hands it to Ace. I don't know how helpful it will be, but at least we'll know what they might have been up to.
She was,
A lot of
I-
effort.
Is that
I
spray
s-
paint?
Yeah, I had to get a little bit of a ruckus started.
Oh,
It worked out real well. Also, I did a trick on a skateboard. Never done that before.
sorry, what?
Yeah, Ace looks like, really? As she begins to plug in, she sees the black box, and for the next, she makes a suggestion for the next couple days, you all lie low until Enzo arrives, and he does meet you exactly where he is supposed to meet. She spends that time going through data, trying to piece together, fill vents in, listen to mixtapes, but Enzo arrives. You can see he too gets the vibe that something's wrong here as he's waiting at the noodle stand. He's already bought you noodles, and he's kind of got a hood up and over the gear that he wears traveling through space. And he peers
yeah.
over his sunglasses at you. You know that look.
Well, hi, stranger. Been a bit. She sits down.
He goes, "Why here? And why under such duress?" He kind of
Well,
looks around.
that last bit, unexpected. There's a whole bit going on. Can't talk about it here. But
Right.
wanted to meet you here because this was my waypoint before we go to the other place that, you know, what is there.
Well, I know I get more handsome with time, but my question is, why exactly did you want to meet up?
I think that if I oh man. Ring gets a little bit more serious.
He kind of leans in, recognizing the struggle you're under to maybe share.
If this might be the last time I see you.
How many times have we said that to each other?
Fair, but I don't know. Just don't want to regret anything.
He looks around to see that y'all aren't being watched. You're not. And he kind of slowly moves a hand across and puts it next to yours, or if it's touching, it's just barely. And he says, "I don't know what's going on, but you seem hella spooked." He says, "Whatever it is, I'm sure you'll get through. And if it means anything, I did what you asked and I sent some men behind your friends. They'll be to the planet in about 2 days after.
Okay.
If
You
anything's wrong,
remember-
they'll protect them."
Well, if it's what I think it is, then it won't really matter, but I appreciate that. It's just a precaution. Remember Octana and all those, you know, experiences?
Can't forget if I wanted to.
Well, I think we might be facing something like that again soon.
My question to you is, why go chasing after it?
Honestly, I don't even know anymore.
Well,
Can't seem to get
Ren,
away from it.
I used to know, always knew exactly what she was doing, what she did, and why she did it. One of the reasons I liked you.
Yeah, I used to like me too. Now I'm just I don't even know anymore. I was planning on being somewhere that I didn't have to think about any of this, and now I'm roped into basically being a fugitive for the rest of my whatever mortal life remains.
Well, at least you're free.
Yeah. I don't think I really want to die quiet though.
I never expected that you did.
So maybe that's why.
Well, whatever it is you're going up against, you know I can't necessarily follow you.
Oh, I don't expect you to.
But I can tell you wanted some information.
Right.
And I don't know a whole lot, not anymore. But I can tell you that there has been direct interest in the science behind cloning. And specifically, Mr. Michael Bishop has a vested interest in how cloning can be used to say, give us a leg up. Everything they do has been top secret, but they do have a base, a station somewhere in which they do their experiments. Rumor has it that they already got one of them, their space beasts.
And you don't happen to know where said station is?
No. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you, kid, because I know you're going to go in there guns a-blazing and you're right, you're going to die. And I can't have that on my soul.
What if I said I did it from a distance?
What if I told you I don't believe you?
Well, you know me better than most, so.
Yeah, well, some things never change.
And some things do.
I guess what I'm saying is figure out what your long game is. You trying to take down Wayland Yutani, the biggest corporation in all of the star systems? Good luck.
I might not be
Right.
able to take them down, but I can surely put some paint on.
Whatever you're trying to do, you best do it fast.
Why, you know something?
I know that you and your friends digging as deep as you digging ain't gonna make it for much longer. And I
That's
don't
probably
think it's
true.
gonna be some space beast that does it.
That's also probably true. Thanks for going out on a limb and coming here.
Well,
And,
what are you doing here? How long are you here?
Well, we were really on staying here until you got here. Yeah, I got what we discussed. But I'm sure that my colleagues are currently indisposed anyway, so
So what, you just got some time?
I got time. Do you got
You know, I
time?
got my own spaceship now, so you could come hang out for the next few days if you wanted to. No big deal. Just maybe we could go over some of that information.
We could do that.
I'd like that. That'd be nice. I like information.
Yeah, just give me a
Yep.
second. She
Yep.
cues up Vince. I'm gonna be indisposed for the next few days, so don't call. I'll be all right though, okay? Have fun. Got the spaceship to yourself, so enjoy with your new girlfriend.
You too, with your new boy. Yeah.
And we see it. 2 ships floating just nearby Station Alexandria, not docked necessarily, but each filled with two and you have the next few days because the plan, I believe, was for the freighter to meet you back here. So you have to wait for their return, and it is going to be 2 weeks. There is a search that is done for Ace. They believe that she was killed by a bunch of hooligans.
Hmm.
And that her body was disposed of.
So Rin is currently on Alexandria with Enzo,
They were for a
and now
bit-
they're going
for-
on
yeah.
his ship.
Yeah, now they're gonna hang out on his ship. So y'all can kind of come and go. Remember, the policies around commercialized like movement and stuff is just way different here on Station
Mhm.
Alexandria. People come and go as they please, which makes it more dangerous, but it also makes it a little easier to do just this.
Yeah. And I'm assuming, like, if we did instead want to, instead of them coming to us in 2 weeks, us going to them, it would take us more than 2 weeks to get to them, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Because
Okay.
they've got from where you were, which you guys went 2 days out. They had a week's journey
Hmm.
to get there. Then they're gonna do their thing, and they got a week's journey back. So you're looking at a little over 2 weeks of time.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I-
oh yeah,
Yeah, I do say to Rin before, Rin and I part ways briefly. Hey, with everything going on over there, I am a little worried about them. And I know that the trash ship obviously goes faster in space than ours.
I thought about that and I sent backup.
Oh,
They'll be all right.
okay.
Are you all right?
Yeah. I'm great, actually. Well, part of me is great. The other part of me is terrified of what's going to happen to them.
Well, think of it this way. They really got a 50-50 shot of making it out because Kitchens, if something were there, they pretty much just ignore him. So with Barden, I mean, he's lived a good life and all that. I'm just saying.
I won't tell him you said that.
Yeah.
But sure. Okay. Well, I guess it's a bit of a break time for us. Research and development. But
Yeah. Why don't you just find some time to actually relax, and I don't know, be a teenager?
I'm not a teenager anymore, but
Whatever. Play catch up.
As you're on comms and you're having this delightful moment before cameras are going to cut literally weeks away through the stars, you hear Ace in the background go, "Oh, by the way, I told you I'd tell you that thing."
What? See you later, Rin.
You know that thing? No, that thing I told you.
I cut the comms.
You
yeah,
cut the
what?
comms. She doesn't stop. She does not stop. She goes, "I know where Robert Morris is."
Robert who?
Robert Morris, the guy who wrote The Space Beast.
Oh, that's right.
I know where he is.
And where is that?
Camera cuts. To a quiet freighter. Ben's family below sleeps soundly, but the first people awakened, of course, are going to be Barden and our pilot. The pods open up. Barden, it sucks being old in cryo sleep. It never gets easier. But Kitchens, it doesn't affect you so much. There's no such thing as cryo sickness for you.
Well, I think we rise.
We have arrived to the system. Everything is in order. The ship is stable.
I look to Barden.
Okay. All right. I'm up. Okay. Are we landed this thing? What's the plan here? I just thought this was like a shot in the dark, and I didn't expect this to be the actual plan we took. But now that we're here, there might be aliens that are on here. It's
Barton, I want to be completely transparent with you. I don't know if you're going to survive this.
No, you and me both, brother.
Brother.
Yeah, I got old knees and old ankles, and I got a bum and the prostate thing. It's a crapshoot all the way through.
Well, if the space beasts are capable of identifying said markers, they may pass you sheerly on the size of your prostate.
That'd be great.
One could only hope.
Yeah. Like, I'm not a viable nesting ground for aliens. You probably get something decrepit that would come out of me, and you wouldn't like that. Like a geriatric alien or something like that. That'd be funny to see for you, but not for me. I don't think. I think. Worst case scenario. Just make sure the ship goes back into orbit. Can we autopilot? Geppetto, do you have autopilot? You can.
Yes.
Great. We could drop us off and then fly up. We don't want the kids and Jake.
Well,
other people.
I'm not entirely sure what we are going to find.
Great.
That being said, I think that we should extract anything that may be of value. Potentially even one of their nesting cells, an egg, if possible.
That would sound terrifying, and also like a scientific find. Didn't we steal a truck or something? Don't we have a vehicle on here, right?
You have an EV on here, but that you can, once you land with it, you can. You don't. The freighter will take to atmosphere. You can land with it. I did give y'all planetary, Yes, and then once you land, you can use this rover. Is kind of what it is. It's a four-wheeled, like, kind of truck. They call it a tractor in this universe. But you have a yes. If you were to land, you have something you can ride around in. But you're gonna have to land in this ship because I don't think that you actually have another.
We don't. Yeah, why don't we just take that truck we stole from I don't even know where anymore, and then we can have the ship go back into space. And
Of course.
I'm sure the truck has tanks so we can refuel air. Even though Geppetto says that the similar atmosphere, I don't want to be breathing in. I don't know.
It will not be a problem for me.
Well, that's
It'll be
true.
more of an issue for you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to explain this, but I may be experiencing a degree of excitement. What do you do when you meet your maker?
That's a complicated question. It's a whole lot of different religious practices from the past about how humans were created, and no one really agrees on it. We just sort of, well, I don't know. Some people think it's monkeys. Some people think it's like I don't know, like a god or something. I don't know.
No, I
Confusing.
don't think so. I think that it's something larger than that. I do not think that it is a god. And
Well,
I met
if you ascribe to the fact that we evolved from monkeys every time we meet monkeys, it's kind of like a weird. It's a weird thing because they still exist, and it's a whole different thing. And I don't know, man.
but how do you know you don't know, and do you feel? I'm not trying to offer a form of therapy here. I simply just want to understand. I met my maker, and I met the one who introduced me to my directive.
Yeah, but you were created like a made out of parts.
Weren't you though?
I don't know. There was a youthful philosophical thought I had when I was young, like Vince's age, and then I stopped and I labored with science and facts rather than mystical hoo-ha because it couldn't be proved otherwise. So I just decided, let's work on rocks. We know where those came from. Other rocks, bigger rocks, space rocks, you know. And now aliens. Now that's my big concern is where they came from. So
I have a theory that we are going to find one of the progenitors of man. If not the origin source and creator of men.
So you're saying that God might be an alien?
Well, in a roundabout way, I suppose. Yeah, that's accurate.
Not the weirdest thing I've heard on this fucking journey of the last whatever years. So, all right.
You can't believe that you're. Do you believe that you're the chicken or the egg? Pardon.
Oh, listen, Kitch. I gave up philosophy. I exist now in the here and now. I'm made up of infinitesimal stardust. That's really all I care about. I don't really give any thoughts to where I came from or where I'm going or what happens when I shuffle off this mortal coil, possibly inside of an alien or an alien inside of me, depending on how you look at it. I'm excited for you and your journey about the whole David thing and possibly making alien cancer. So, fuck, that's a sentence and a half.
Well, we will certainly need some sort of portable pod for cryo's sake. Whatever it is, if my understanding of how this pod may rupture, we will need to suppress its any bio capabilities that it may have available to it. I'm not entirely certain how it functions yet. We did see those in the tank, though, the smaller with the projectile like mouth.
Yeah. David had him on ice.
Yes.
Yeah. So that works. So we know ice makes him sleepy, fire makes him dead. So pretty good combo there. Also, do we have a flamethrower? Because I would like to have that just in case. I can fashion one. I'll figure it out.
We should still have access to some of the explosives.
Great. Yeah. And it wouldn't be the first flamethrower I made. You remember the Ice Planet, the whole...
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah,
I can't forget that. That was
times.
You are fastidious in movement, a bit more spry, which, for the record, I think we should probably implement that trial injection that we've tampered with for you.
Oh, yeah, you get a little like satchel. I'll bring that with me so I can just...
And I will bring Neprolief so that it can relieve some of the additional stress. Just Just to note, you may be quite inebriated by the time we return to the vessel.
No more different than Ren, huh? That's a joke, Kitch. She's drunk. She's a drunk.
Yeah, I suppose that's accurate, but I wouldn't say that in front of her.
No, she'll shoot me in the face.
She will.
She was pretty good at killing aliens left and right with that, I don't know, ancient revolver or whatever she had. So, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of that thing.
Hey, Dot. How old is Barden's character, and what, like, the duress that he's been
God.
under? What, like?
How old
What
is
is-
your character?
What is his vitality
he's in
like?
his mid to late 60s.
With
Okay.
some
Not including cryo sleep.
which
yeah.
may be a few extra 6 or 7 years on the body. So he's probably in his 70s. His body is in its 70s.
Sure.
Drugs are a hell of a thing, but he's an old man.
Yeah. Can I I'm going to hold that. I'm going to hold that for a later date. I'm just going to start suiting up. I want to monitor his vitals as close as I can and see if has he been in his medical file, has he been treated for anything that may be like long form fatal?
Has he? Mike?
Has like cancer or anything like that?
If you pull his medical form, he hasn't been treated in probably 20 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
the basics, like maybe there's always the capability of like some high cholesterol, a little bit of high blood sugar. He's an older man, but he doesn't
Sure.
have diabetes. Other than probably your average like aging of the eyes, his eyesight's pretty good. I mean, he's a hardy old man. He does yoga. He's been hanging in there.
He
Good.
does yoga,
Okay.
and we know that he had a rollicking sex life for a minute there. But when he
Yeah.
was on the ice planet, he and Dr. Eve?
Yeah, Evie.
Evie did not get along great. So he avoided his physicals.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
they're a little outdated, but you've been checking everything. His vitals seem to be good for his age.
Sure.
Right? There's
Good.
nothing innately wrong with him.
Okay. Then suit up. Let's take everything that we can down.
So Ben is going to take control of the vessel in terms of getting it down. Like you all get it down through atmosphere, land, and take this shuttle, this tractor as they call it, off. I'll show you a picture. There is one in this, but right here-ish. This is what you got.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's better than what I thought we had.
Yeah, that's what you've got. Which is kind of a standard kind of tractor build for things like trash freighters or work being done on like unfinished colonies or terraforming colonies. So it's very hardy. It's gonna shield you from the outside, and it'll have a few things on the inside as well, right? Like a basic med station, I think, is in it. So nothing too extreme there. I was gonna say it doesn't have any armaments. It's pretty standard, basic little. It's called the 8x8 tractor.
Got it.
No, I'm so sorry. That's a terrain vehicle. I lie. Yeah. So yeah, it's a basic all-terrain vehicle. Nothing special. No armaments. No guns.
It's okay.
But
What are its defensive capabilities?
it doesn't have any.
Metal
Doesn't have any.
shell.
Yeah, standard armament, none. It does have a top speed of about 140 kilometers.
That's not bad.
It's like 80 miles an hour.
But yeah, it's not really meant for anything but shielding you against, like, getting you from place to place and getting you and shielding you from the outside environment.
Okay. All right. Then
Which is good because when you land on this, well, here's my question: which planet are you landing on? Where are you going?
The one Barden was referring to was LV-426. We know
You're gonna
that
want to go to LV-426. Not
we know that
LV.
the David star was pointing to 223. Right? No. Sorry, the David map and Amanda's map was pointing to the star system.
The star system.
Yeah. But Barden is aware of something happening on LV-426 and pulled up the
Right, because that was kind of the Hadley's Hope. The
Yeah,
the
how almost the
images
entirely
of the
redacted.
star system, right, that were pulled from the Elizabeth Shaw research, right? They got the whole initial trip. You learned about David's first mission, right? Was to LV 223. You know that there has been additional activity on LV 426, and that's where the Nostromo touched down. So, which planet are y'all wanting to go to?
I mean, 426, I guess.
I think Kitchens would probably go to where David's mission was.
Mhm.
But if
So
this
that
is
would
where
be
Barden,
LV 223.
if Barden is feeling most comfortable about checking a second planet, we're already here in the star system, so it's a matter of just going to both.
Okay, so which one are you hitting first?
Yeah, Barden's thought was that we know Bishop had shit to do on 426. We know that Nostromo touched down there, and that this was the last known location of the Sevastopol. Was like just above this planet, I think.
Yeah, it's in a different system, the system over, but yes.
Oh, yeah.
The Zeta 1 Reculi. You
So we know that Barden, or not Barden, excuse me, Bishop had something going on above 426.
On it. Hadley's Hope was
On it.
his. It was Hadley's Hope was his project.
So
Okay.
so basically what goes down is the Nostromo finds something that it shouldn't and doesn't return. That information is returned to Wayland Yutani. Bishop, Michael Bishop, is made it's like head executive something after he creates his sorry, I want to make sure I get this right. This is why I put information. Yeah. He is the current executive officer of the Wayland Yutani Corporation. Now, he wasn't always, he is now. One of his first missions given to him when he took over that position was to set up the Hadley's Hope colony.
And that's
Right
all.
about the
That's
same
all Barden knows because he volunteered for that mission and didn't get it.
So, right about the same time, the mining colony was established as well. Like, it seems that Michael Bishop has been establishing colonies under the false guise of what they're actually doing, right? The mining colony was not mining anything, but trying to find a lost vessel with the eggs on it, right? Just like, more than likely, Hadley's Hope was here for something else, and it got wrapped up and it kind of went off the grid. You do know that you got this information last time. You do know that a group of Colonial Marines were sent to investigate and they did not return. Ripley was actually sent with them, who was part of the original Nostromo crew who touched down here. And she was found 57 years later when she crash landed on Fiona 161. So yeah, there's some like questionable things that kind of happened from point A to point B. But this entire system has been shut down. Nobody's really supposed to be here.
Okay, then I think the question is, do we want to go where Bishop is, or do we want to go where David has been? Are we equipped to handle Bishop, just the two of us?
No more than we're equipped to handle a psychopathic robot.
Well, David's not down there.
Well, that's true. That's true.
You don't. Yeah.
I guess it depends on what your mission is. Is it to find out more about David's plan, or what David has done, or where he started from?
I mean, I need to see the roots, right?
Hmm.
I think that Kitchen needs to discover the roots, but more than anything, Kitchens needs to be able to find that progenitor, whatever that progenitor race is, and that sounds like a home to whatever that is.
I'm down for it. We can go to 223. Worst case,
All right,
where
so
it's
223
it's literally a
first.
moon apart.
It's
Cool.
true. So the monstro sets down and breaks through the surface. Fire kind of eats away at the hull as it breaks through the atmosphere and takes planet side. As it lands, we see this kind of rover, right? This the EEV rover roll off of it and onto the planet's surface. Now, LV-426 is not a forgiving planet. It's nearly identical to Earth's atmosphere, which you probably see like on a HUD, except that it contains a much higher rate of carbon dioxide, which actually makes it toxic. The computer tells you that Barden would survive about 2 minutes without his helmet on.
So not long.
Not long. As you set down, you see it is rocky. It's got some mountains, some valleys. This planet is almost habitable in certain ways, much like Earth might have been at one point in its early history. Where are y'all headed? Y'all just going out for a drive?
I suppose we're looking for, first and foremost, how large is the planet?
That's a great question. It's actually a moon. So it's not as
Okay.
big as you think it is. It is technically a moon. Right? Two moons, one of two moons in this system.
Okay. So then it is.
But
it
it
is a
would take
moon.
you a long time to just like scour the surface of it.
Sure.
Does
Why does the Monstro, does Geppetto have any scanning, like surface scanning accessories,
Yeah,
anything that we might be able to
Why
access?
don't you roll a comtech check, or you could have Ben do it if he's feeding you down information.
I'm significantly better at Comtech than I know Ben is.
Great, then you do before you get off.
You're. Okay. Comtech. I got two successes.
So it takes you a bit. There are a few disturbances that pop up on your search. Goodness, it's been many years now. There was some kind of large scale disturbance in the Earth's rock formations, or like the Earth's ground, at one location that like pings on the map for you.
Okay.
Which might be a potential point of interest. But that's about all you know.
Sure.
That seems to be, other than that, the planet, honestly, is almost barren of life forms, which seems also specifically strange.
Okay. Does this area seem probable for us to land with ease?
Yes. It seems to be in a valley.
Okay. Then I look to Barden and I point right there. This is where we're going to be landing.
All right, I'll take it. Is there anything around there?
Previous disturbances from everything that I can determine, but nothing as of immediate note. I'm not even sure if it's natural formation or if it's something that was done by, well, human hands.
There is, outside of our knowledge about David, there is no recorded data about humans landing on this planet, from what I understand.
Well, it doesn't seem immediately habitable unless they were to build some sort of atmospheric pressure bubble to allow them to live here, but I don't think that that is immediately useful. I still believe that there may be something happening on 426, but if there is something, even on a government level, happening on 426, they wouldn't want to be so close to human capacity here.
Right.
Easy to discover.
Yeah, and if there were a bubble here, we would have detected it, right? We would have had some kind of ping or reflection, unless it was destroyed, in which case we might pick it up and we might not. Either way, what's the worst that can happen? Well, fucking aliens. So, I mean, we know the worst that could happen. So let's drive into the heart of the beast, I guess, as it were.
As you come into the valley, out of the front of the Monstro, you can see something strange. It was definitely a very large earthly disturbance, as something arose from the ground that is no longer there. Sitting in this valley is a destroyed vessel of some kind, unlike anything that you've ever seen before, alongside the potential remains of what would have been a human ship of some kind, a small scale, like planet vessel, larger than what you're in now, but obviously not the size of your freighter. It is very clearly long since been burned. The sands and dust here have kind of built up around it. But yeah.
I suppose I'm not really surprised. I don't think that Kitchens would be surprised by this, even by some sort of otherworldly vessel that he's never seen before, even if it has been semi-buried by sand. Um, and I hope you've brought your moon boots.
Kitch, I have. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised by this, but I have a couple concerns. Okay, from everything, my extensive research into the alien life forms,
Mhm.
they do not have possess the intelligence nor the uh, uh, articulation to pilot and or craft a spaceship.
Oh no, that is correct.
That appears to be a relatively large section
Vessel.
of a spaceship. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Probably horseshoe or like deeply U-shaped in some way. It has been broken as it like when it landed back to the earth or whatever happened to it, it kind of cracked it in half.
The most comedic and unrealistic scene in a fucking movie is running from that donut. I hate it. Okay.
It's okay, we don't have to talk about it.
Just fucking running in a straight line as it like just step to the left. Fucking dumb. That that looks like a you gotta have at least hands or pseudopods or multiple arms. I don't know what the fuck, but that's a whole ass alien spaceship. That means it's at least two aliens, like a different
Is there?
alien subspecies. Well, I mean, like I said, the aliens had little tiny hands. I don't think they could pilot that. But that means there's another kind of higher
There's-
intelligence alien.
There's a very good chance that they didn't even use their hands at all. There's a likelihood that they had instrumentation,
You telling me these
potentially
aliens might be
software.
telepathic aliens?
Oh, telepathic. I can't claim to know that knowledge is, while unlikely, it's not entirely improbable. There is a history of recorded telepathy to a degree.
And nearby, you see that there is a strange structure, kind of at the end of this valley where all of this destruction and whatever has taken place. Standing in pretty desolate ruin are the remains of some kind of building or structure.
I think I'd like to start there.
Yeah. And he like rummages through his pack, and pulls out his Seegson scanner and like gives it a couple whacks, and then turns it on, and you see like the boop, boop, the searching for life signs. I'm just gonna keep this on me at all times because I was prepared for a scorpion alien with the acid mouth, and I wasn't prepared for I invented space travel alien. So, yeah, I'm just gonna just in case,
Well, perfect. I mean, whatever helps you find and remove your anxiety. That's
Yeah.
completely fine.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah.
drug for that as well, though, if you're at all interested.
Great. You keep that on you. I'm gonna take this
Okay.
and I'm gonna strap it here, and then I'm also gonna take this rifle out of the mount, even though that's a bad time. And could you do me a favor? Could you just put this backpack on? It's like just a big canister of fuel. I got a little lumbar thing, so I'll hold the flamethrower pot if
Why,
you're.
but why do I need to carry the fuel? We need the fuel on our ship.
No, the ship has its own fuel. This is the fuel pod for the flamethrower that I brought along. I just have a lower lumbar thing, and I can't carry the rifle and the Seegson and the fire flamethrower thing. I'll be slow. You're
You,
faster than
you, want,
me.
you want me to carry a 20-gallon drum on my back?
Well, I mean, it's two tanks of a, yeah, basically.
Okay. All right. I
If you're
suppose
okay with it, if you're fine with it.
whatever makes and eases your mind.
Great. Well, I can't nuke the planet from orbit. We're already on it. So if I can light a few aliens on fire while we run away, so you can live to, get dissected and make alien cancer.
If it makes you feel any better, you could stay abroad this vehicle.
And miss being potentially the only human survivor to witness aliens again for the third time.
I see your point.
Exactly.
The door and hatch to the freighter opens up, and this machine takes to rocky ground. And you actually spend most of your time dodging and weaving through debris. Along the way, you see quite a few things. this vessel broken in half, this very clearly human, though rather old, vessel. You see the remains of this strange kind of U-shaped or horseshoe-shaped one that broke in half. It's unlike anything that you've ever seen before.
What's the gravity like on this moon?
I actually believe it's pretty similar to ours. It doesn't say.
I think it's slightly
climate-
less than Earth,
Yes.
if I'm
yes,
not
it's
mistaken.
a little bit less. Yes, correct. Yes. And you begin driving for this structure off in the distance. Your vehicle kicks up dirt as you draw ever closer. We're going to end here because I think your investigation of that structure really needs to be given to till next week. Yeah. But we'll be back. Figure out what's going down. Are you going to survive? What's left? What's left? I know what I think is left.
I have so many concerns because
I know what is also left.
I know what is also left, and I hate it. I hate it. My least favorite. Those
I'm
are
going to
so
feign
much.
ignorance.
Those are so much worse. Okay. I really hope that I do and don't see that. Let's go around, do our introductions, get the hell out of here so we can talk about this after show over on our Patreon. If you guys want access to the after show, this and all the other ones for all the other seasons of this show, Patreon link down below, also in chat. But we're going to go around, do our outros so we can get the hell out of here. We're going to start with Meta. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Yeah, it's 3 weeks in a row. I feel picked on.
I am picking
No,
on
I'm
you.
just kidding. Yeah, you can find me here on Wednesday nights and maybe occasionally on Discord if I feel like not being a hermit.
You could be a hermit and go on Discord. Like it's
No, I can't.
Okay, great.
No, it's
Perfect.
only one or the other.
All right.
Can't multitask like that, Mike.
You can leave
Yeah.
your house or go on Discord. It's-
Exactly.
Damn.
Exactly.
I feel that. Zach, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I am Zach Clay. You can find me on places where Zach Clays are found, which is on this channel, on the Arvin Eleron channel, where Dot and I had the absolute privilege of voicing characters in a really special game called Purgatory, Purr. It's Purgatory for cats. It is amazing. We thought we beat the game, and then, well, you just have to watch it. So we're still playing that. And then we're also starting a new campaign on Arvin Eleron's channel this weekend on Saturday, a new sci-fi / fantasy campaign that blends D&D and Esper Genesis, which is basically sci-fi D&D. That starts this Saturday. Session 0 is this Saturday on his channel. I have no idea what character I'm going to be playing yet. I have to give some thought to that. And I'll also plug one more time the Gray Shade Kickstarter that my friend Greg, Arvin Eleron, friend of the channel, is doing. It's approaching its last 48 hours, I think, or it might already be in its last 48 hours. And they're
49 to go.
49, doing a huge push to try to get it funded because the end is in sight, but it's really up to individuals now that choose to back it. Basically a full gritty dark fantasy trilogy of novels and a 5e compatible module, including 5 new classes, which is dope. So that's it for me. You can find me on those 2 channels, mostly on my own occasionally, and then other spaces that you'll find soon.
Hell freaking yeah. Bub, what about you? Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
You're just gonna have to look everywhere. It's Bub Talks. That's it's where I'm at. Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. That's a place that you can look. And just peep me out, man. Look me up. I'm out here pretending to be other people, making voices loud and having a lot of fun while doing it. And hopefully there's a lot more of that soon. Dot's actually going to cover most of the things that I do because we do a ton of things together as well.
That's true.
So if you are in the Indianapolis region in the next, I don't know, 4 weeks, like for instance, Gen Con, you can probably find me there where I'll be doing some cool stuff with Pod by Night and meeting some folks in my N95 and being safe away from this COVID nonsense and what have you, social distancing and all that jazz. And If you want to support and do some cool stuff for me, I'm really, really close to closing the gap on my GoFundMe. I'll drop it in here. It will be the only time I share that there. We're less than $600 away from wrapping that up entirely. That will be my first surgery. And we're gonna do a lot of change to my body. So that's the goal. But that's me. Look at Bub Talks everywhere.
Hell yeah. If you are not privy to the Twitch chat, I'll post this other places, but it's gofundme.com/f/help-bub. Go check that out and help close that gap. And last but not least, Dot, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hey friends, a little bit lighter episode this week. You can find me you can find me out there doing my thing. I'm out there playing games, mostly for Cobalt Press. I will definitely be at Gen Con in a variety of ways when I'm not with Cobalt Press and with our podcast network, Pod by Night. Lots of cool stuff happening. Actually, I believe this Friday is the finale episode. Yes, the finale episode of our Hunter the Reckoning game. We're gonna have a live show at Gen Con. So many things going on. If that's not good enough, you can always come visit me on a cruise ship. That'd be pretty chill. I'll be at D3 at Sea in November. Tickets are on sale now. We're giving some special stuff away to people that book before August 15th, including like free internet on board and some other cool stuff. So go check it out. D3atsea.com. If you've got questions, we've got some new GMs being added to the lineup in the mix. Those are going to be announced here shortly. So, lots of fun stuff. Plus, we get to go to the fucking Bahamas and roll dice together. Like, I am running a late night alien one shot on the cruise. If you don't think that we're going to be trying to escape a space station cruise liner, like a space cruise liner, we are.
Alien After Dark.
I'm very excited. Yeah, it's an Alien After Dark on board the cruise ship. It's going to be so super dope. There you go. Lots of ways to find me. Best ways to just where little red dots are found online.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys all for the support, all the subs and all the corruption bars that we hit. We're up to 4 today. So Dot, you have a considerable amount to kill us with.
I used to.
Great. We'll discuss those in the after show. Speaking of which, we're going to get out of here, do this after show. So that's it from us. We will see you guys next week. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.